Most people wait until their book is published or launched before they start talking about it. I'm going to show you in this video 3 different ways on how you can build your network and generate leads before your book is even done being written. Let's get into it. So look, my name is Jake Kelfer. I'm a 4-time best-selling author who's turned my books into multiple successful businesses in the speaking, coaching, and book publishing space. I've used my book to generate thousands and thousands and thousands of leads and being invited to speak on 100+ stages and podcasts over the time that I've been doing this. As you can see here, this is my last book, Big Idea 2 bestseller, all about how to write, publish, and launch a book. Now I currently run a business called Big Idea 2 Bestseller, which is a full-service publishing company that specializes in helping high-level entrepreneurs and executives write, publish, launch, and market nonfiction books for business growth and impact. So let's talk about this because I believe that every business owner can benefit and generate leads from a book. Now, when I wrote a first book, I wasn't really sure what would come from it. I wasn't sure how to use it. I wasn't sure how to leverage it. I just knew that I wanted to put something out there. And when I was getting ready to launch my first book, I'll never forget, I was sitting at my parents' house. I was 23 at the time. I was sitting at my parents' house and I was talking with my dad. And I was talking to him, telling him I had all these limiting beliefs. What if no one buys it? How am I going to use this? What's the point? Is anyone besides you and mom going to get a copy? Where can this lead? And I'll never forget, my dad, he looks at me and he says, whether you sell 5 copies or 5 million copies, great and unexpected things will happen. Now, a little over 8 years, I wrote my first book. I released it May 1st, 2016. And at the time of this recording, it's over 8 years. And I can say that my life changed the moment I released that book because I released a book, putting myself out there, and I figured out and made the decision on how to market my book. All right, and so there are 3 ways that I'm going to share with you today. There are a lot more, but there are 3 that I'm going to share with you today because I want you to be able to take action. And there are 3 ways that you can build your network and generate leads before the book is even launched. Number 1 is you can pitch yourself as an author. Number 2 is you can reach out directly to people to build your network. And number 3 is you share the journey. So the first way that we're going to talk about is pitching yourself as an author. So most people that I've talked to, and we've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people who have wanted to write a book. Most people who are writing a business style book, self-help book, memoir book, some type of book that will benefit them and make an impact, most people want to do some form of speaking engagements. And they want to do more speaking so that they can get paid, they can get leads from speaking, they can travel the world, they can be seen as the expert, they can sign clients, but ultimately they want to speak because they want to make more money by helping people based on their stories and their expertise to ultimately help people in a way that will resonate with them. And I believe that you shouldn't have to wait till your book is done to start helping make your mark on other people, to start impacting other people. And this was something I didn't know when I released my first book. But now, after releasing 4 books and helping hundreds of people do the same, I've now understood that you don't have to wait till the book is done before you start pitching yourself as an author. Now, the mistake that I see most of the time is that people wait till publication. They wait till the book is done. They wait till the book is launched before promoting themselves and their books. And I want to encourage you, as we break this down, I want to really encourage you that as you're writing your book, you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you've lived the life already. So you can talk about all the things that you're talking about in your book to other people. Most of the time, you have already done that, and now we're putting it into a book. And so I don't want you to feel this, I don't know if I can promote myself, my book isn't done yet. No, you are not your book. Your book is an extension, is a vehicle of you. It's an extension of you in a tangible format. And so instead, I want you to start pitching yourself as the author of an upcoming book and start booking podcasts and speeches in advance of your launch. We have clients who will do this and they'll get featured in different articles. They'll get speaking fees. They'll book. We had one client, she booked her biggest keynote of all time before the book was even done because she went through this. And so what this does is it builds your audience, builds your lead list, and it builds your network with decision makers. And so here's how you're going to do this. When you reach out, so first and foremost, Obviously, you got to find a list of people to reach out to, okay? But once you find that list of people, okay, that you want to reach out to, it could be ideal prospects, it could be power partners, it could be podcast hosts, it could be event coordinators and decision makers. But once you do that and you're going to pitch yourself, in that pitch, instead of just pitching yourself as someone who's an expert, you're going to pitch yourself as somebody who has an upcoming book release. This is immediately going to draw them in. It's going to capture their attention. Then in that pitch, you're also going to share several of your best talking points from your book that could easily translate into valuable topics for their audience. So for example, when my book was coming out, Big Idea to Bestseller, which is all about how to write, publish, and launch a nonfiction book, and I wanted to pitch myself before the book was done, I would reach out to people and say, hey, I have my brand new book coming out. I want to do a couple podcasts before it comes out and really start adding value to your audience. You know, 3 of the topics I think would be really good for your entrepreneurial audience who's looking to scale in the new year would be these 3 things. Number 1 is how to write a book that positions you as an expert. Number 2 is how to hit bestseller status in 1 hour a day. And number 3, and you just make those topics up based on the key things that your book is about. This will also help you know, based on how they respond, which topics resonate the most. Then you offer to give an early copy of the book or a sneak peek of a chapter, and then you show why you, as a future author, is the right fit for their audience. Now, when you do this, if you're reaching out to prospects, okay, this is going to build your lead list because you're inviting them to be part of your experience, of your creation process. If you're using this to pitch yourself on speeches and on podcasts, podcast hosts are going to be excited because they're going to get something new and flavorful. Event coordinators are going to be excited because they can get to know you before the book's even out, and you can start to build that relationship, ultimately speeding up the timeline before you actually get booked for the gig. The second way that we're going to talk about right here is you're going to reach out directly to build your network. Now, something that I've learned is that you are never more relevant than when you release a book. Think about all the big names in your industry. When are they most prevalent? When are they making the biggest pushes? When are they in the media spotlight? When are they trying to do things that they don't normally do? It's when they're launching a book. Have you ever seen people talk about how they got these big names on their show? Well, more times than not, they get big names on their shows when those big names are launching their book because it's all about promotion, okay? So most people, again, another mistake, most people think you have to have the physical copy of the book before you can use it to build your network. But I think this is a little bit backwards, okay? I think that you can start building your network and reaching out directly at every stage of the book process. Now, in the beginning, you're going to potentially reach out and invite them to be part of the book. All right, now you may be like, Jake, what do you mean by this? Well, people love to help when it also benefits themselves, right? Think about when you're most inclined to help. You're most inclined to help if there is something that kind of comes back. So if we can stroke someone's ego and give them a chance to help somebody, this creates a huge opportunity. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to reach out and invite them to be part of the book. Now, this can be asking them for advice, or it could be asking them for a quote. Let me give you an example. We had a client, and I was suggesting to her she wanted to start building and started generating leads and start finding her power partners. And so I said, hey, look, your rough draft is pretty close to being complete, but you're still writing it. Reach out to CEOs in your niche and say, hey, I'm writing a book on this topic. I came across your LinkedIn profile, and you're amazing at what you do. I'd love to know your thoughts on XYZ. Or you could even say one step further is like, hey, I've been following you for a while. I really, really love your stuff. I'm actually writing a book on this particular topic. Is there a favorite quote that you have, either yours or someone else's? I'd love to feature that in my book. Or even, hey, you know what? I know you achieved XYZ sets. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your story with me? I'd love to potentially feature you in my book. Now you're building a relationship with the people that have the power to buy bulk orders or to really help you. And you can do something really, really special there. So that's how you can build your network from the very beginning of your book process. Next is let them know that you're writing a book on their topic and you wanted to give them an early copy of the book. So this is something that I love to do, is I love to reach out to people that I don't know yet. Maybe I've heard of them, maybe I've been following them, and I say, hey, my book's coming out in a little bit. It's brand new. You've been a huge inspiration on me. I even mentioned you in chapter 4. I'd love to send you a free copy. Are you open to receiving this? If so, let me know the best address. And then I send them a early copy of the book as a thank you, and then I send them another one to continue the conversation once it's actually printed and produced. These are really great ways to build your network, to start generating opportunities for you, okay? Now go back here and say, look, if you are reaching out before the book is done, this gets people warmed up months in advance, giving you time to build the relationship and eventually getting the business, right? If you're starting your book, and let's just say you're going to get this thing done, you're 6 months away from launch. Let's just make this timeline up. And you wait 6 months before reaching out to John, then you have to start the relationship and build it. But if you start the relationship now, talking about your upcoming book, getting them involved, then 6 months down the road, you're going to have a relationship. Then you're going to be able to promote your book. You're going to be able to get John involved to promote your book. And then you're going to be able to make decisions from there. You were still writing the book, but you just sped up your relationship timeline by 6 months. People want to feel valued. People love to help. When you can give people a chance to help, that also makes them feel important. You increase your chances of getting response and getting people to participate. Now, the last thing that I'm going to share with you for this particular conversation is to share your journey. This is an incredible way to build leads, build goodwill, and to expand upon your network. Now, I love doing this, and this is something that I encourage every single author to take advantage of. We all have phones. We all have the opportunity to post on social media. And so as you write your book, share your journey. When I decided to write Big Idea to Bestseller, I decided to make it a challenge, and I called it Project Bestseller. And I documented everything that I was doing every single day for the duration of this project. And I made it a challenge. I made it fun. And I'm not saying you have to make it this big of a deal, but share the journey along the way. And what happened for me was, not only did I start to generate some attention and people started to follow along because they wanted to see, can he do it? Can he not do it? Will he have it done? They wanted to see, will I succeed or fail? But what happened was people started to hear what I was doing. And they're like, hey, Jake, can you come on my show? I want you to talk about this process as it's happening. That allowed me to get booked on podcasts, some pretty high-level podcasts, which in turn generated me some leads. I also was able to, by the time this challenge was done, I was able to sign clients up for the services I was promoting in the book before the book was even released. So people had yet to read the book, but because they had followed my journey, they believed and saw that I had the answers they were looking for. And so they signed up to work with me, and then they got an advanced copy of my book as a bonus gift, fast action bonus for signing up. So this is how you can share the journey and bring people along with you. Now, the other ways you share your journey, maybe you're not going to do a big challenge, but share milestones, your first words, share when you finish your rough draft, share when you commit to the process, share when the book's in editing, share cover designs, share publication dates, share launch dates. This is a huge opportunity for you because when you warm people up, when you include them along the way, they feel like they're part of your process. And when they feel part of your process, they're more bought in. So when the time the book actually comes ready to be launched, boom, you're ready to rock and roll and they're ready to buy. So this is how you can, really use your book from day one of writing it all the way through your launch day to build leads, to grow your network, and to get your name out there. So if you enjoyed this and you want to learn more about how to write, publish, and launch a nonfiction book, I want to gift you a free copy of my book, Big Idea to Bestseller. All you have to do is go to bigideatobestseller.com/free-book. Just cover the shipping and we'll mail you a copy directly to you. And then if you know that writing a book is something that you are ready to take on and you want to get this done faster than you ever thought possible, then go to bigideatobestseller.com/call and we will schedule a time to chat with you. We will walk you through a game plan. We will build out a roadmap for your book, validate your idea, figure out how to connect where you are to where you want to be, and help you make your book dream a reality. That's what I got for you, and I'll see you next time.